and the spirit of Ultimate Warrior will run forever!
Welcome everyone, Kyle here, and it is Saturday, and you know what that means. It's time for all the toy news, action figure news of the week that interested me, that hopefully interests you, in a big week of toy news. Not quite as big as the last couple of weeks, because as of right now, only one toy news video this weekend. I think that's all we need. There's been enough news the last couple of weeks. Let's slow it down a little bit. Slow it down as we get closer and closer to Halloween. But of course, toy news this week brought to you by Jay'sToysAndGames.com. Use discount code Kyle, save yourself 15% on all in-stock items. Got to get a deal out there over at Jay's, and you'll see some pickups for tomorrow's weekly purchases from Jay's Toys and Games. And we got the Patreon going strong this month. Anyone that joins the Patreon, be it a paid member or free member, can get in on a big giveaway this month. Check out those 3 figures. We'll go to one lucky person for the Halloween season. Perfect for the Halloween season. Got some more giveaways to do throughout the rest of the year. I got some stuff for Toys for Tots as well. As many collectors do, myself included, you accumulate a lot of extra action figures, and you got to get rid of those. You got to get them out of your house, and that's what I'm doing here, cleaning some stuff out, and maybe you'll win that one. And then we have Sting as our traditional Patreon giveaway this month. So a lot going on in the Patreon. Once again, you can be a free member. It's free. Link in the description down below. Check it out. Patreon members get early access to everything I do between both my YouTube channels. All the videos early. Classic Superstars years early for some of those videos and many others. My wife and I have a new Patreon exclusive video coming very soon as we go through all the Buffalo Wild Wings sauces. I won Buffalo Wild Wings for a full year. Yes, a full year of Buffalo Wild Wings. And I said, guess what? I'm going to try every single sauce and dry rub on the menus. And Todd, you love a good dry rub. I like mine sauced, but Todd likes a dry rub. We're doing that, and we will have that first video of that continuing series up where we're going to rate every single wing. So stay tuned for that. Another Patreon exclusive video. I do my pizza reviews each week over there. All the videos early, plus the glamour shots, plus a bonus video every month. There's a lot going on Patreon. Truly the best way to support this channel and all that goes with it. Podcast, another episode coming this Tuesday. A lot of people saying, Kyle, you need to talk about this. Didn't know much about it. Did some research, and I will talk about it this Tuesday in the podcast. Apparently, there's an influencer out there, and I use that loosely. I even use it looser for me. I'm just a guy with an opinion. I'm not necessarily an influencer, but I guess, you know, if you do a review and somebody says, man, that Kyle, he sold me on it, I guess you're technically an influencer, but everybody's an influencer somewhere in their life, I'd have to imagine, but it feels weird calling an influencer. I'm just a guy talking toys with everybody, but it is what it is. But this guy, a true influencer, I do believe. I'd never heard of him, but I do break it down in the podcast. He did get arrested out there in San Diego. Beautiful this time of year. You know, Todd, he's always jacking it in San Diego, like a young South Park episode, as we know. But I will break that down in this week's podcast with my wife, Angie. We talk through that. We talk a very busy week on the podcast this week and a whole lot more. Check out the podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available wherever podcasts are found. And check out this week's episode, Too Hot for YouTube. YouTube didn't allow me to be monetized, but in a plot twist, in an update, they finally said, okay, we're good, when the humans got involved to say, oh, wait, she's not actually showing her boobs. So yeah, that's what they said. Oh my gosh, you can't have that. No, she's got a shirt on. She's got a shirt on. What are we doing? What are we doing? Shout out to my wife, Angie. Check out the podcast. Check out the Patreon. Check out the housekeeping. Let's dive into it. This week, CM Punk from the Vault. We got pictures from Ringside Collectibles. Looks like we got a different head from the last release from the Defining Moments. Everybody likes a little bit of different head, Todd McFarlane. So we got something different. A way to make this figure different. Basically the third time around the sun for this figure. How do you make them different? Use different hands. One has a shirt on, one has a shirt off. You got to work through the system. But we did see that. That should be in stock very soon. Head over to Ringside. Use code Kyle. Save yourself 10%. We saw news out of Australia. Beautiful this time of year when the snakes and spiders aren't getting you. But we did see Red Rooster, Brutus the Barber Beefcake, Virgil, Dusty, and Cody Rhodes. Greatest hits hitting stores in Australia right now. That means Targets in the United States should be here in the next month. So be on the lookout for those. A lot of re-releases. You got the updated, you got the pinless joints, you got a lot of fun. Some classic figures people missed out on. I'll definitely pick this one up. Be interested to see if Target has these on shippers like they did in years past. We've just saw a new Elite shipper hit stores in the last couple of weeks. I wonder if this will be on shippers and replace that. We'll have to stay tuned for that. Be on the lookout, though. But now we move away from Mattel. We head over to Jazwares. Yes, Jazwares still going. And I tell a fun story, Todd McFarlane, in the podcast this week. Once again, cheap plug for that podcast, where people don't even watch my videos, but explain what I said in the videos. And people were saying, apparently on Reddit, and I need to get on this Reddit thing, but that I was saying how the Jazwares line is done and all this stuff, and I can't be trusted when they never watched my Jazwares breakdown video where I specifically said somebody posted this on Reddit, and I don't know if I'm going to believe somebody just posted it off Reddit. So we broke it all down, and I think I was pretty fair, and I was pretty right as far as things go. But it's a wild thing. But now we're talking Jazwares. So it's not dead. We're going to Jazwares Vault. We're going for a surprise Tony Storm drop. I don't know if this is a figure that just didn't fit in one of the lines. They couldn't squeeze it in somewhere. So they said, you know what? Let's drop it at Jazwares Vault. It is up there right now as filming. I'm sure it'll be up there for a while. Pretty plain Tony Storm for the most part. But worth having in your collection if you're a Tony Storm fan and you're missing a Tony Storm, which some people could be missing a key Tony Storm in their collection. This could be it, about 26 and change, I think, after shipping, something like that. So check out Jazwares Vault if you're after that. Have to be more sales on Jazwares Vault here in the months to come with the holidays approaching as well. So if you want to play that long game, you might get lucky on that. But now we turn our attention to some third-party wrestling. It looks like Club KWK, get those collars popped. We know Club KWK and Club Grayskull, you're only let in there if you got a popped collar. Maybe not. But you got the Laredo Kid coming to KWK clubs very soon. Be on the lookout for that. More as we get it when on sales hit. But we will get that one. Very limited edition figure for Laredo Kid. Stay tuned for more. And we also saw Well Done update. We're going to see KWK come out with the Well Done 2-pack. I'm pretty excited about this one. I guess you could call it a deep cut tag team, but a tag team that is remembered from the New Gen era. Well Done coming at us sooner rather than later, first of next year. So be on the lookout for that from KWK. No extra updates on their O-ring line. And how's your O-ring, Todd? Oh, it's good. It's winking at me right now. I see it. But KWK coming in hot. Zombie Sailor saying there's going to be a big announcement on the 22nd. What could it be? Well, he shows a little TV screen and it looks like an in your house. Have to imagine we're going to see a wave of figures, hopefully in stock, and I'm guessing possibly right in stock, but I'm guessing it's the Henry O. Godwin, Ahmed Johnson, Bob Holly possibly. Was there another Todd Pettengill coming? I could see a wave of superstars from the In Your House era. So we'll be on the lookout for that. We'll talk about it next week. This week on the channel, I did unbox his Macho Man Legacy Collection figure. Check that one out. I got to say, a lot better than I expected to be based off pictures. I still had a few gripes, but I got to say that face in person, a lot better than pictures. So check out the review if you missed that along the way. But we'll see what his announcement is on the 22nd. We also saw Title Run Toys officially putting the Beverly Brothers up for pre-order. Looks like they're beating Epic Toys to the punch. I guess we'll see who delivers first, but Epic hasn't taken pre-orders yet, so we'll wait and see on that. But it looks like the Beverly Brothers will be around the corner, and there is a 1 of 300 SummerSlam edition. That should be interesting. That's kind of a no-frills version, where the regular version will have the hard capes, and it's perfect because, as we do know, we're in the heart of cape season right now. October is the heart of cape season, and the Beverly Brothers representing cape season with Title Run Toys. So if you're after that, check those out as well. Figure collections, power-packed wrestlers. Use code Kyle, save yourself 10%. Macho Man ×2, Andre the Giant ×2. Reaction style figures. Think old school Star Wars, think Super 7 reaction. That's what we're getting here from figure collections. Not necessarily my cup of tea as far as action figures go in this day and age. Love the Star Wars, love the Power of the Force when I was a kid. Nowadays, more elite scale, retro scale. I'm not sure if these are exactly what I need in my collection, but I can see people buying these to keep them on card. There's Andre collectors, Macho collectors that need these. So I think there is an audience for this. I don't know how big the audience is, but I guess figure collections will find out real soon because nobody else outside of Super 7 with a couple Andre the Giant releases are doing this style of figure. So if you're after it, head over to figure collections. Latuni coming in hot this week, showing off the Ever series of Hawk and Animal, and we did unbox the Macho Man Retro Mega Powers edition on the channel this week, so check out that video. But man, a big giant Hawk and Animal, very, very tempting. I'm not sure I would put those in my collection, though. I don't collect a lot of big figures of the wrestling variety outside of the OG WCW and I guess the Hasbro ones once upon a time. But very interesting looking figures, and we also saw the more big rubber guy, LJN style figure. We did see LJN style Smash. Going to be great to complete your axe, so you can get your axe and smashes together. Looking good. The Latuni stuff is quality. It just flies under the radar for a lot of people, but you got to check that stuff out. Check out latuni.com. Epic Toys coming back this week with a figure we've been wanting for a heck of a long time. It is a retro. It is the Genius with removable soft goods robe. Very cool to get the Genius. Another unsung guy we don't get enough figures of. We know big rubber guys have one coming. We got one in the Jakks Class Superstars days once upon a time. Unfortunately, never got a Mattel Elite, at least as of now. Would be perfect for a Legends line. Would be perfect to go with a Beverly Brothers. So Epic Toys coming out with the Genius. They're coming out with Beverly Brothers. Going to have those guys together in the future. But looking really, really good. I'm here for more Genius figures. We'll see where that ends up going, but it does look good from what I saw. And then we did get a little bit of an update from AEW as far as big rubber guys go. As we remember last week was New York Comic Con. I said we'd swing back on stuff that maybe I missed out on. That was one of the things we missed out on. AEW, big rubber guys shown off there, the prototype samples. Looking pretty good. It'll be interesting to see how well these sold. I am not a big fan of the Bloody Hangman, the black and white Tony variant editions. Makes it very tough to get that. You know me, I like to have everything available to everybody, and you got your chance. And then if you miss your chance after a week, 2 weeks, whatever it may be, well, guess what? You missed your chance. Now you're stuck to eBay prices. But it's one of those things that could turn people off of a line. Ultimate Editions from Mattel is a perfect example. I was a Double Up Club member on all of them. Then we had the Hart Foundation Black Card Coliseum collections that nobody could find. I was so disgusted by that. I said, you know what? I'm done member of the Double Up Club. I sold my entire mint collection outside of my Ultimate Warriors of the Ultimate Editions. Now I just collect them loose, where it doesn't matter if you got black cards or not. I can see some people saying, you know what, maybe this is the time I get all out on big rubber guys. And I think the big rubber guys team, the Collect Major team, would say, you don't have to collect everything. And they're right, you don't. You can pick and choose. But it is frustrating when, let's say you really want that Bloody Hangman, and it's really hard to get, and you don't really want to spend $200 on the aftermarket. I see both sides of it, though. I know some collectors really like that kind of stuff. They like that thrill of the hunt, is what it is. But we did see these figures. They look pretty good. The Sting one really reminds me of the Brian Myers from Series 1. It's almost like they took a lot of that there. Obviously in the pose, as you can imagine. Not definitely the face sculpt and the paint and stuff. But it does look good, so we'll see how those come. I believe those are coming early next year. I can't remember when those are coming. But if you're after them, I guess eBay is where you're going to have to go from now on, because their pre-order is over for those. They did put up this week, very cool, Synergy. We talk about it a lot lately. The Synergy TNA, and apparently the TNA Collect Major group, not just WWE anymore. But we did get Mike Santana, 1 of 500. There's only 500 available. Not sure there's going to be a huge demand. They haven't sold out as of yet. But 1 of 500 Santana, Mike Santana, the new TNA champion, available for big rubber guys. Kind of like Killer Cross the last month, kind of a surprise announcement. Not sure how well Killer Cross sold. Not sure how well Mike Santana will sell. We'll see what happens in the future there. We also saw some of their mascot series, which is an exciting series. Now, I'm not going to jump into those unless they make the Oakland A's mascot, Todd McFarlane. That'd be quite the one. Give me that elephant. Give me the elephant. But we did see Mr. Met in the Philly Fanatic, 2 very iconic ones. You know, Brian Myers was trying to get that Mr. Met in there. Have to imagine these will sell pretty good for Phillies fans. People that know anything about wrestling, anything, that Philly fan, Mr. Met, whatever you want to do, put it on your desk at work. That's a beautiful piece of business. So I think they got something here. If they can get all these different mascots, it's a whole different line of thinking than what we traditionally talk about here on the channel. But I think there's a lot of meat on the bone there. So we'll see where that goes. We also saw a weird one from Garage Beer this week, a sponsor of the Major Wrestling Figure Podcast, and could be a sponsor of this channel. Come on, Garage Beer. What are we doing? What are we doing? But Major Stars Garage Beer figures, apparently maybe a one-off. We'll see where that ends up going, but they did show off a little image there, and I can imagine the Major Stars is one of those brands that you could make figures of. Let's say I want a Kyle Peterson figure. I'm sure I could go and get a Major Stars made. Obviously, you got to hit minimum order quantities and things, but I think it's things for like Garage Beer and maybe other licensed brands, be it beer, snacks, food, whatever, they can make their own figures. You know, Dave Portnoy and Barstool Sports, could they make figures? I mean, there's a lot of meat on the bone there, a little cheaper than the big rubber guys, and maybe even cheaper than the major bendies. Another avenue for people if they want figures made of themselves. So it'd be interesting to see where that goes in the future as well. But now it's time, the one everybody's been waiting for, Todd. It's time for the Power Town update.
Are you ready for pain? Are you ready for suffering?
Best and only way to clean off slime is to take a very hot shower. The one thing about it is you think you have it all out, and then 2 days later you kind of like scratch your ear and you go, oh, there's more slime there. It just gets everywhere.
No way. Not this time. We created it. Not this time. No, not this time. It's totally made up. Pure fiction. It's fiction. It's fiction. We made it up. We made this one up. It's a made-up tale. It's a total fabrication. It never happened. It never happened. This one was invented by a writer. Not this time. It never happened. It's false. It never happened. It's a fake. It's fiction. It's an urban legend that never happened. No way. We got you. Not a chance. Not this time. It never happened. It never happened. We made this one up. It's fiction. We made up this one. We made it up. Not this time. Wrong. Not this time. Not this time. You're wrong. Not this time. It never happened.
Dumb.
Stupid.
Crazy.
Oh, and what an update do I have to share? Actually, no update, Todd McFarlane. There's zero from Power Town. Radio silence. Here we are, mid-October. No Remcos, no TNA, no Ultra Series 2, no nothing, no news, no anything, no updates. Par of the course. That's one thing you can say about Power Town is they are consistent. So shout out to them for their consistency. And some people posted in my video this week on Thursday, I do a top 10. Got to thank everybody for 54,000 subscribers on the YouTube channel. We did a special top 10 to celebrate, and it was my top 10 hardest to find figures of 2025. A lot of hard stuff. Looking at you, Todd McFarlane, there was a few of your stuff on the list as well. But some people jokingly, obviously, in the comments said Power Town and the Remcos and Series 1 of the TNA, Ultra Series 2. They're right. Now, obviously, that doesn't really work because you can't really find those anywhere, and they haven't even hit anywhere yet. But the joke not lost on me. Not lost on me. It shouldn't be lost on Power Town either. We'll see what happens with them. We're still waiting. And as Tom Petty sat me on his knee, when I was, gosh, Todd, how old was I? You've seen those pictures. Maybe 6, 7 years old tops. Tom Petty grabbed me right from the audience, pulled me up, and he sat me down right on his knee. And he said, Kyle, I'm going to tell you something, all on microphone, all on camera. You know, it was one of those magical moments up on the concert. And he said, I'm going to tell you something, Kyle. You're going to find this out in the future in your life. The waiting is the hardest part. And then Mike Campbell and the boys jumped right into that, and they were off to the races. And the waiting truly was the hardest part. And I'm finding that out here with the Power Town. It's hard times. The waiting is very hard. Will it be worth it? Honestly, these figures could be the most amazing figures ever, and I don't feel like I'll ever feel like it was worth it. Yes, it was a long-running joke. Yes, it's fun to joke about it, but at the end of the day, made promises, broke promises, lies, collusion, conspiracies, just crazy stuff that really takes a lot of fun out of this. And then, oh, by the way, they've had my money for, however long. It'll be 2 years by the time we get stuff. What could I have done with that? The stock market jumped big time for a while. I could have made a ton of money on the stock market, even more money on that, but no, couldn't. I was tied up in this Power Town nonsense. Yeah, I don't know. It's just an absolute mess. We'll see where it goes. We'll see if any kids with karate can save this brand in the future. We'll see what happens to the Power Town. They're saying they're going to go to an in-stock model. I don't know how well that'll do. More to come. But that's the lack of Power Town update this week. But we're going to move our attention over to some other stuff. How about happier stuff, Todd McFarlane? How about Masters of the Universe? We did see on Amazon up for pre-order right now, multi-bot, much like Modulock, but more bot-esque. We did see that. Beautiful packaging, beautiful looking figure. Not a key character for me, a bit of a deep cut, a more expensive figure, but if you're into this kind of thing, you can pick that one up over on Amazon. We also saw Masters Universe Origins Sting-Or. Yes, Sting-Or. Let's make up a new character. 10/21 Mattel Creations exclusive. Of course, Club Grayskull members pop the collar. You get in early. We know how that goes. But we do got Sting-Or around the corner. And that figure did look really good. Saw that at San Diego Comic-Con. Very excited for that one. We also saw some glamour shot images of ones we saw back at San Diego Comic-Con once again. 2000X. We got Zodak. We got Beastman. We got Evil Lyn. We got Skeletor. And Prince Adam. Oh, Prince. The Princess of the Universe right there is Prince Adam. But a good-looking set, more akin to the Thundercat-style figures than the Origin-style figures, which I know upsets a few people here. But these will be interesting. Now, I'm going to be collecting these, unfortunately or fortunately, depending who you ask, instead of the Mondo figures. The Mondo ones, which the pre-order did end this week. It'll be very interesting to see how many of those masters they ended up selling. Money's tight for action figures and a lot of thing right now. A lot of stuff going on in the world, as we do know. As you guys do know, this is a very political channel here. I was also accused this week, and I break that down in the podcast, that I am pushing my political beliefs in all of my action figure reviews. It's unbelievable, some of the stuff people make up. Somebody sent me that and said that I was pushing political beliefs in all my videos. So I don't know if that has to do with Jesse Ventura, but he's an independent, isn't he? I don't even know what he is, but maybe that has to do with Jesse Ventura. I'm not sure what's going on, but people say I'm very political, and I don't know. You guys tell me. Am I very political in my videos? And somebody accused me as well. It feels like this is... It bothers me, but it doesn't bother me. It bothers me, or it's funny. It's more funny as a joke, where I can't believe people's heads are. And it's one of those things like, now you understand a little bit what others go through maybe every single day. But somebody was saying, once again on Reddit, people are sending me these Reddit things. Maybe I need to get on this Reddit, Todd McFarlane. You on there for feet pictures? Okay, well, I didn't know that was a thing over there. But people were saying that my wife is in every single video I do. And I do 28 videos a week. 28 videos a week. She's not in any figure review videos. She's in my podcast. She is the co-host of the podcast. And then she's the mail girl in weekly purchases. Then that's it. Maybe an occasional guest spot in a toy hunt video. But besides that, I don't know. Anyways, let me get off my soapbox here. Let me continue on with my political agenda that I'm trying to sway everybody to, whatever that may be. But we did see vintage Man-at-Arms this week at Walmart. Looks really good. I'm a Man-at-Arms guy. I always was, but in my old advanced age, I like Man-at-Arms even more. And I like this vintage collection. Can't wait to dive into that in the future. But I guess I was saying with the 2000X, I'm going to be buying these instead of the Mondo versions. Just way too expensive. Way too expensive. Be interested to see where those end up netting out as far as sales go. And they could be really expensive on the aftermarket if they don't make a ton of them. So more to come on that. But speaking of Mondo, we saw last week from New York Comic Con, just missed the news video, the 1/6 version of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Now, I have NECA versions of the 1/6 kind of scale. I think that's what they are, roughly that scale. I'm good there. I don't need these Mondo ones. I would love to have them, but they take up a lot of real estate. Where would they go? They're very expensive. Gonna have to pass, gonna have to admire from afar. But you turtle fans, another turtle line. Is there enough turtle lines yet? Have they reached the zenith of turtle lines? I don't think so. I think there's room for about 20 more turtle lines, if you ask me. And we'll talk about one more later on, Todd. That's what we're gonna do. We also saw Cheetara from the Thundercats line, another one. I feel like I'm picking on Mondo lately, but Mondo are the most expensive figures I buy. Action figures going up in price. You got to make some cuts. You got to make some decisions. And unfortunately for me, it's easy to cut Mondo out. I'm like, I cut that Cheetara out. I saved $250, $300, whatever. I can put that for the price increase on Hasbro, where you're paying $28 instead of $24 or whatever. It helps you buy more of those figures, and it is what it is. Now, some people say, well, that Cheetara is amazing. Yes, it's amazing. It's just not. You got to value your money, and you got to choose, and you got to like what you like, don't what you don't, as we always say. And that's where I'm at with that one. So gonna have to admire Cheetara from afar as well. So hard times, of course. But now we're diving into some serious hard times. We're going to Hasbro. We're going to the Haslab. I missed this last week in the toy news, but apparently there's a 3 3/4 Tron Haslab going on. Now, I don't know anything about Tron. The only thing I know is I thought it was Halloween party, but it was just a normal Thursday night for you a couple months back. And I was like, why are we having a Halloween party early? But it was Todd in full-on Tron gear. It was a wild scene, and I've never seen Tron, don't know anything about Tron. It looks pretty nerdy to me, and what am I calling nerdy? Of course, everything's nerdy in the world, but it's a next step for me that I don't dive into. But apparently there's a new Tron movie, too. I heard that was like disappointing at the box office. And once again, I don't know anything about it, but it's following the lead of this Haslab, which as of right now, you're a week in, and there's not even 1,000 backers on this bad boy. So that's quite the egg on the face there. And I don't know who over there at Hasbro would think a Tron has enough power to catapult itself into a Haslab. I don't know if they're just saying to themselves, well, we want to make this, but we don't trust it, so let's just throw it up. But it ends up throwing it up, and it looks bad on Hasbro, saying, you don't know your audience, you don't know what you're looking for, and this could be like the Riva lightsaber and be just a total flop. And It's headed that way right now. So who knows? They got some time left. Maybe things will change. But is there enough Tron fans out there? And is there enough Tron fans that take that extra step to buy merchandise from the movie? And if they're going to buy merchandise, will they buy action figures? And if they buy action figures, are they deep enough in the weeds to know about Hasbro Pulse that's even a thing with a Haslab? There's so many steps of a niche. And as far as I know anybody that loves Tron, that wears their Tron love. And there's somebody out there. There always is. Oh yeah, Todd, I forgot about you. But I just don't see this being successful. And I don't know how Hasbro could sit back in the offices. It almost becomes one of those things where you don't know your audience. And that's even scarier if you don't know what your audience is really looking for. And they're clearly at this point not looking for this. Going to be interesting to say where that goes. I'll probably dive back into it once the Haslab's over, because I don't know anything about Tron. I don't know anything about it. Don't really want to know anything about it either. So check out the Tron Haslab. If I haven't sold you, I don't know what will. We did see from NECA celebrating the 41st anniversary. Oh, that's an important one. Or 51st, I guess. 51st anniversary, I think, is what it is at this point. It is a Leatherface ×2. So we got 2 more Leatherfaces coming. These look just like the ones I unboxed not too long ago. So with some tweaks maybe, or maybe they're the same figures getting re-released. Not sure what's going on here, but we're milking Leatherface. That's what we're doing. And Todd, you could be milked. I know we talked about that a while back as well. Todd loves a good milking session, but Leatherface coming back out there, riding that Ed Gein train, which Todd's been riding that as well. You're dressed as Ed. Oh, looking excellent over there as well. But Todd, you and Ed got a lot in common outside of the murder, though, is what you said. None of the murder stuff, but some of the wardrobe choices. That makes sense. Shout out Todd McFarlane on the couch. A real one. Keeping it real. He's keeping it 100 like a young Conan. That's what he's doing over there. Shout out Todd McFarlane. And speaking of Todd McFarlane, might as well put you on the hot seat right now. We did hear some stuff on social media this week coming off a New York Comic-Con interview where Todd, speaking from the couch, we missed you. You were only gone 2 days, though. It was crazy. Took the old PJ. Todd took the PJ from my house all the way there. I couldn't believe there was enough room back there, but I got acres of fields behind me, and they landed that plane there. That was pretty awesome. And then you came back via helicopter, and it was really cool that you rappelled from the helicopter onto my deck. I thought that was a really cool power move. One of the most powerful moves I've seen in a long time. And he did it all barefoot, which is crazy, especially with that rope. Oh, man, your feet, though, hard and calloused, as we know as well. Todd McFarlane making all kinds of news, though, at New York Comic-Con this week. Talking McFarlane Toys, there's been a lot of questions. When's this contract end? A lot of people thinking it's the end of this year. He said it was into 2026. We knew it was into 2026. We just didn't know how deep necessarily. It sounds like we will have DC Multiverse through the calendar year of 2026. And that's a lot what I've said over the last couple of weeks is that's my gut. And I do really fully anticipate DC to show their replacement for McFarlane, whatever you want to call it, at San Diego Comic-Con next year. I think they'll show us the first images of that, and they will be available for sale January 1st, 2026. It'll be like that launch of the Mattel Elite line once upon a time. That's my guess there. I know Todd at Rhymes with God. He's let us know that. And I think he's looking at ways still around that. Can I make statues? Can I make this? Can I do this scale? And it sounds like Mattel is going to get the Kitty toy line a little bit earlier into next year. And then the classic figures, the McFarlane style figures, whatever it may be, first of 2026. So it'll be interesting to see how we navigate those waters. But we got a lot of runway. A year from McFarlane is a lot. As I've said since this news broke over a year ago now, Todd's going to dish and he's going to put stuff out. He's going to make as much money out of this brand as he can. It's business 101, and he is a heck of a businessman. Say what you want about Todd. He is a genius. He's a guy I look up to. I love a guy that marches to the own beat of his own drum. He doesn't let anybody tell him what to do, within reason, obviously, but he's going to do what he wants to do. And I always appreciate people like that. I try to live my life that way a lot. I don't care what people think about me most of the time. It feels like I'm doing different because I'm making jokes about some of this stuff, but I don't. I am out there. I've always been proud that I collect action figures. I'm proud of the bands I like. I'm proud of the stuff I do. I'm proud of, the vehicles I drive or whatever it may be. I wear my love for things on my sleeves. I don't hide it. I don't sit there and put it in people's faces all the time that, let me tell you all about this and this and this. But if it comes up in conversation, I'm not backing away that, oh man, you heard of that ABBA album? I'm all in. I'm all in. And Todd is the same way. He's going to tell it like it is. He's going to do what he wants to do. So shout out Todd McFarlane. We'll see the ebbs and flows, but I have to imagine next year, prepare yourself for the McFarlane onslaught. Re-releases, repaints, brand new figures. I think we're going to see everything as he gets every a little bit of money out of this license that he can. And once again, I do the same thing. But speaking of that license, Cheetah and Extant, Red Platinum's up on Walmart this week, already sold out as usual. I'm in a meeting, I have a call, I miss it, and you miss it. But I'll find them in the stores eventually. We also saw an interesting one this week. He did announce Ghost Spawn from the Call of Duty Spawn line, but in a crazy plot twist, and you'll hear more about that in my podcast this week, I had to go to Illinois for a little K-pop action. Oh, shout out to P1 Harmony. You got the real ones out there. But I went to the United Center for that concert, but along the way, hit a little Target action. And who's staring me in the face? Ghost Spawn. I said, I didn't even know this existed. And then the next day, he said, hey, coming soon. Well, soon is now, as I already have it in my collection. We'll be unboxing that soon. Very excited to dive into that figure, but that is out there. And then the 77 Spawn ×2, started finding those a couple of weeks ago. Still have to unbox those on the channel. We're piled up on stuff to unbox. You'll see more of that on weekly purchases tomorrow. And then the last bit of news this week, IDW Turtles, hitting Target currently, available everywhere else, Page Puncher editions. I'm on the fence with these. I'm waiting maybe for a deep clearance or a sale. That's where I'm at right now. We'll see if that does change. But I wouldn't mind having the 4 turtles in my collection to display in my DC Multiverse section. Kind of a DC version of Turtles. That's where my head is as of now. But there's a lot of Turtles out there. And there's more announced. Mondo, of course, coming out with Turtles this week. There's a lot of Turtles. You can't collect them all unless that's all you collect is Turtles. Then you're eating good with some turtle soup, I am sure. But that is it. That's the toy news this week. A lot going on. Not enough for 2 videos, but a lot going on. What are you interested in? What were you hoping to see, or what are you excited for this week in the toy news? Let me know in the comments down below. You made it this far, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to this channel and my other YouTube channel. The slow march to 55,000 subscribers is here. We got to get to that 100,000 before I die. I don't know. Can we hit it? Can we hit it before 2030? We'll see what happens. And when that day comes, we'll get closer. We'll do some serious giveaways around 100,000 subscribers. Believe you me. Anybody ever given away a car on YouTube? Could we do that? Maybe. I got some extras at this point. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. But thanks to everybody subscribing, liking the videos. Always does help the channel, as you know. Check out Sir Paul64 on the X, _Kyle_Peterson on Threads, Instagram, TikTok, and TheKylePetersonShow at gmail.com. Conveniently enough, the name of my podcast, The Kyle Peterson Show, available where podcasts are found, with video cast on YouTube. So for another week of toy news, you know what I'm doing? I'm rocking and rolling, strutting and strolling my way into another weekend.
Well, are we gonna dance or are we gonna play?